Welcome to Driving for Dollars Mastery, the best, fastest, and easiest way to find and turn wholesale properties for huge profits. We'll provide you with the tried and true strategies that are guaranteed to help you build your own business by recognizing distressed properties, all from the comfort of your own vehicle. So buckle up and let's get ready to ride with your host, Zach Booth.
Most people think education is a college degree, but education is we learn and invest into ourselves our whole lives, right? Like that's true education, right?
Yeah.
How did you grasp that, and why, like, that you're different? You need to understand that. Most people don't go to the college library to learn. Most people are in college, they drink as much as they can get away with to pass tests. Right.
Well, I was doing that, but that's got me
don't say that. You make yourself look bad now.
Well, yeah. That's hey, I'm an honest guy here. I mean, that's what kind of got me to my situation. But I went to the library because I was like, hey, I'm not going to give up on myself. I'm going to definitely if this wasn't, if I wasn't able to get it through the degree, I'm going to find another method. I'm not going to give up. And so I went to the library. I started Googling, finding books to read like online from like book clubs and things like that. And I slowly started going down a rabbit hole of YouTube and kind of finding all the self-help stuff. And eventually it led me to where I'm at now with the real estate.
Love it. So you start in the college library digging into books. Do you remember any of the books that you read while you were there?
Oh yeah. One of my favorite ones, and still to this day, I try to read this book like every year. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That one was one of my favorite books. Yeah. I also read just like other books like One Up on Wall Street by Peter Lynch. This is just like self-help, just trying to figure out what investing was. I started reading like with Millionaire Next Door, Think and Grow Rich. I think kind of like the normal ones that you would try to read to start getting that mindset right. I think the one that really kind of stuck out to me, that taught me a lot of stuff was I think it was Gary Keller. There's Flip. I think it was Flip by Gary Keller. It was like, I think it's a green book, if I remember correctly. It's like a green one, a blue one, and like an orange one, but I think it's Flip by Gary Keller.
Awesome. So be honest with me. Were you actually started off in the library because the librarian was cute, or were you like 100% into the books?
Well, I mean, at the college that I went to, the library was so huge. I mean, to be honest, I didn't even talk to the librarian. I just figured out how to look for the books up online.
I'm just teasing you. So I love it. You're in getting the books. I'm going to kind of ask some personal questions here because I want to know. I'm genuinely interested, and I want people to be able to really relate to your situation and understand that they can get to it. So you said you knew you weren't going to finish, but you didn't want to give up on yourself. Like what was going to push you to not finish? Were you out of money? Were you like, what happened?
Well, so I went to school for architecture originally. Yeah. Then I decided like, are we going to be doing I feel like I wasn't going to be as creative with architecture as I thought I was going to be. And I decided that like, that was no longer the path for me. So I kind of went through a phase where like, I said, okay, I kept going to like, they have like kind of these self-help places where you take these assessments and figure out, what other things that you could be good at.
You take a test and it tells you what you have to do the rest of your life.
well, yeah, but I'll be honest with you, I don't have my father in my life. He wasn't in my life. Didn't really have any other guidance. I was kind of the first one of my four siblings. So I was trying to use every resource I possibly could in order to, achieve what I wanted to achieve.
You said you're the oldest of your four siblings?
Yes, I'm the oldest of my four siblings.
Did you have this emotional pressure to like lead and like give an example to those?
Actually, yes. I went off to college with a lot of weight on my shoulders, wanting to be successful so I can eventually help the youngest one or help the youngest two, That was my goal. It didn't work out that way. How can I say this? It didn't work out that way, but it did work out that way, if that makes sense. Because now I'm able to give a different viewpoint and a different skill set that I have that I can kind of teach them like other ways to be successful besides, the traditional go to school, get a job, et cetera, et cetera. More of an entrepreneurial mindset. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. right? You showed them you can take control of your life regardless of situations, regardless not having a dad, regardless of some of the setbacks that weren't necessarily a consequence to, you know, actions that you took or actions you didn't take, just circumstance that you were.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I had a friend who became a friend. He was an employee for a long time, and he told me some very personal things about you know, his father was, you know, got put in jail for almost killing his mom. Like, really rough life.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, really rough life. And dude, he was like the most dedicated, focused, like I wanted to be him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, man, this kid's discipline, this kid's attitude towards life, like, you know. And you shared some things, and I actually was on what's that social media platform? Anyways, I was talking to someone, and someone said, well, how do you make money if you don't have any resources or what, you know? And I basically said, you got to be resourceful. You got to make it work, right? You can't just say, I can't definitely. Because. And she got really upset. And what she said to me is, she was raised by a single mom, and it was very to make that. She was right. I was raised by both parents, and maybe I shouldn't have made that judgment. But where you have the perspective that I don't have of being raised without your dad, and still finding a way to get through it and solve it, like, what made you get through that mindset of, or that, you know, that crutch of being able to say, well, I can't because I didn't have a dad? Like what was going through your head? Like, what made you want to inspire your younger siblings and be successful? Like, how did you think, and how did you process that for someone that might be listening, like that gal that got mad at me for my perspective?
Well, you're gonna kind of maybe upset with my answer, but I've never really felt that pressure, you know. My father wasn't around. I kind of accepted that, you know, at a young age, and I just kind of just went forward with what I could do, you know. I never really put any, I guess, I never just really thought about, oh, he's not here, et cetera, et cetera. I just said, I'm here, my family's here, what can I do? And I'm accountable for what I'm going to achieve. I think I kind of adopted that mindset, like, early on. I kind of, like, my grandmother used to always tell me, don't talk about it, be about it. So with that being said, I just had to show up.